Jira cleanup, and look, it's one of those things. It's not, it's not a. It may not seem like an interesting topic, but I tell you what, it is the problem that most administrators and most clients will have is that over time, Jira gets messy. Typically, gosh, I mean, the client instances we see typically still have kind of the default permission structures, which is everyone can do anything, and it really just gets messy over time. So there are some key things to have a look at. I've got Jackson here with me today. I'll hand over to you, Jackson. I'll give you.
Thanks for that, John.
Post, and you can take us through it.
So yeah, I'm covering Jira housekeeping. So basically just keeping our instance of Jira tidy, making it manageable and scalable. So first off, we'll talk about what affects Jira performance. So generally with all of your schemes and everything, as your Jira instance gets cluttered up, you do see a performance hit. So some of the things that impact this are the data size, the usage patterns, configuration, and then the environment, whether that be cloud or DC. So your data size, the number of issues, comments, and attachments matter, number of projects, and it goes all the way through down to the schemes. In terms of the usage patterns, that's how many people are on Jira at the same time. The concurrent operations, so that could be automations, and then the volume of email notifications. And then, your apps and everything as well also impact your performance. So how can we housekeep this, keep everything under control, and improve our performance? So we've got some steps. So this is our methodology here. First, we want to audit our instance. Then we want to collaborate with our stakeholders, execute, and document. So step one, auditing. We want to quantify our key metrics. So that's projects, issues, custom fields, configuration schemes, users, and groups. We'll clean these up as we go. So we want to review the groups and users in our instance and remove anyone that is unused and manage our license consumption as best we can. We also want to document our findings as we go, monitor the audit logs for the instance, the applications, the automation as well. And we want to see if we can reduce any monthly executions by consolidating some rules. We can also create an audit board and audit dashboard, and that's just to keep up on our maintenance. So we can set up a project to track this work, collaborate with the stakeholders all through the project. We can have filters and gadgets that show issue counts per project. And this can be some dead giveaways on what might be retired and what might be better off deleted or archived. And that's just in projects. We also have the REST API, which can help us audit. So we can use REST and grab all of the projects, all of the issues, their custom fields, configuration schemes. And this is very handy for documentation preparation. Just getting all of the groups and configuration pieces out of your instance without manually clicking through everything. Now that moves us to step two, which is collaborating. So we want to take everything that we've learnt. We want to enlist the help of our stakeholders, team leads, project admins, solicit as much buy-in as possible, determine what needs cleaning. So that's what's getting archived, what's getting deleted, and what's getting consolidated. We want to build some timelines out of this, understand the usage of fields, their configurations, and pretty much agree on the removal of consolidation of everything. So doing this, we can use our aforementioned audit project, and we can establish a timeline. So I've separated my epics into my departments. So I've got the stakeholder meeting, consolidating our schemes and reviewing our audit logs, all for development. And once this all passes through, everyone that is a stakeholder will be able to see this, and they just have a rough timeline on when things will be finished. Also, step three is execute. So that is putting our Jira plan into action and cleaning everything up. So we want to schedule tasks for quarterly and annual cleanups. I've got that automation rule in the bottom right. We want to create a backup before we do anything, proceed step by step, one area at a time. And I'll show you those steps in a second. And then we want to standardize our schemes and reduce the administrative overhead as much as possible throughout the process. So our tasks here, we want to manage our attachments. So we want to remove any outdated or unnecessary attachments. We can do this through automation. We want to identify and archive and delete projects that are no longer in use. We want to clean up our fields by removing duplicates, consolidating, and creating context when needed. We want to clean up our schemes. So that's standardizing our schemes where possible and removing redundant configurations or duplicates, as well as reducing notifications. We want to consolidate our automation. That's monitoring the executions and configure rules to reduce those monthly executions. We want to remove any unused or outdated applications. And we want to check with the stakeholders, make sure people aren't using these apps before we delete them. And we want to manage our board, filter, and dashboard. Okay, so I want you guys to imagine 200 projects with separate schemes. That would be 800 minimum up to 1,400 separate configuration pieces for admins if they're all set up separately. So more than likely, there'll be existing unassociated schemes, making this number even greater. So this is where we need to consider scaling and ensure that we keep on top of this overhead. So standardization enables reporting across similar projects and users. Standardization also involves creating templates for similar projects. For example, all of the development projects will share schemes with the other development projects, and that will be a development template. So the housekeeping element is as we delete schemes, our performance improves. So we want to get this number down as much as possible. We've got some pros and cons of shared schemes versus unique schemes. So we get better consistency, standardization, performance, and easier management from shared schemes. There is a bit of limited flexibility in terms of our projects will share a scheme, so we can't just make one simple change and only impact one project. We'd have to duplicate all of those schemes and create a new use case. And yeah, multiple stakeholders will be involved in each modification. And then our pros for unique schemes will satisfy our requirements case by case. Our changes do not impact other projects, but the cons are we have 1,400 schemes to administrate, and we have some poor performance as we scale up our instance. So you kind of want to look for your low-hanging fruit. That's your unassociated schemes. You can safely delete most of those. Just make sure nothing is a backup. Then you want to plan for consolidating similar schemes. So your project should undergo some standardization. This is key to reducing this overhead and preventing a performance hit on the instance. Then we have our final step, which is documenting. So we want to document our baselines here, perform a retrospective, create a maintenance plan, and you want to ask your project admins to run regular reviews of their projects and nominate elements for cleanup, creating automation rules and scripts to archive things automatically. Optimize as much as possible. And that is housekeeping.
Nice. Thanks for that, Jackson. And look, it is what I find interesting about this methodology is kind of the importance of having a really structured approach. We often get questions from clients about cleanup. What should I be doing? And, the worst thing is to jump in and start, trimming the tree. It really is important. Can't state it enough, the importance of the methodology that Jackson mapped out, the reviewing, the planning, the structuring, and then, picking the fights as you go through and clean it up, because it will take time. And it's something, it's better addressed as little elephant burgers, set out the game plan and then just chip away at it. It's a service we provide to our clients. If you're interested, we can help you go through the definition and the structure of the whole plan, and then you go ahead and do what you need to do. If you just want to have a chat and talk about, how can you get on with cleaning your instance, certainly reach out, have a chat to us. No dramas there.